Hey guys, how's it going? I just thought we'd do a quick video on how to choose the right tradie or builder. There's lots of different ways that you can actually do it, and there's a few, what's the word, few unconventional ways to do it, and there's some that are a little bit more conventional. So let's just have a chat through what a few of those ones are. One of the more unconventional ways of choosing a tradie is one that I heard from a customer actually just this morning, and that is when a tradie turns up, he has a look at the tradie's car. So if the car's too new and brand new, then obviously the tradie's making way too much money and he's overpriced. Similarly, if the car's really old and battered and beaten up, then the tradie's probably not going to take the care. If he doesn't care for his tools and for what he drives, then he's probably not going to take much care on the job. Now, I don't know how much store you could actually give in working that way, but look, that's certainly one way to do it, I suppose. Personally, I think there's probably a few better ways that we can go about choosing a tradie. Okay, so probably firstly is how do you actually find a builder or a tradesman to actually come and do the work? Often that's where customers find that actually the most difficult is actually to get a tradie to actually ring them back or a builder to ring them back. I think firstly you probably want to check with family and with friends and with people that you know of who have had work done recently and who have obviously been really happy with that particular the builder. If you've got word of mouth is probably the most powerful way of finding out the good ones from the bad ones. So word of mouth, Facebook and social media is actually becoming a really good way to find tradesmen as well. You know, I see almost on a daily basis some of our local buy, swap and sell groups or community groups where people are actually asking for recommendations. And I often see people will actually put up recommendations of people who've done a fabulous job for them. So, you know, that's a really good way to find tradies and work through recommendation. You know, the other way you can do it is just look at the phone book or look at do Google searches and those sort of things. You know, again, that's good, but it's probably secondary to using some of the more sort of social media ways of finding tradies at the moment. And then of course actually getting a tradesman to ring you back can often be hard, and sometimes people think it's because the tradies are lazy. It's not generally. You've got one of two things happening. One, the tradesman may just be absolutely flat out and busy. There's such a shortage of qualified and good tradies in the market at the moment that pretty much everybody who's decent is booked out from, it can be weeks to certainly months in advance. So, you know, often they're not ringing you back because they're really flat out. Now, I don't say that that's a good thing to do. You know, I know from my perspective, regardless of whether I'm busy or not, I always take the time to ring a customer back. And so if you've got somebody who does ring you back and does know what they're doing, then that's probably a good indication of a tradesman that's really sort of good at what they do. One of the other things just to bear in mind is that a lot of tradesmen are not necessarily technologically literate, and so sometimes using social media and using some of the more modern ways of communication can be an issue. So what I sort of say to people that way is, you know, if they're not responding to email and they're not responding to messenger posts, then a phone call, just ring them. Sort of have a chat to them on the phone. So yeah, obviously the younger generation coming through are way more literate, and it's a lot easier to communicate with them that way. But just bear in mind that sometimes a simple phone call is the best way to get on to talk to a tradie. And I'm definitely not defending tradesmen. Yeah, they have a really bad rap for not getting back to customers, and that sometimes also has a bit of a bearing on, are they a good tradesman or not? What's their customer service like? So if they don't get back to you, then that's probably an indication of the level of customer service that you're going to expect further down the track. Okay, so once you've got a tradesman actually that's actually managed to ring you back, and miracle of all miracles, you've managed to get them to ring you back and come out on site to actually have a look at a job, then you really need to figure out, well, can they actually do the job? Just because you're getting a builder out, and the builder might have had experience in residential building, doesn't necessarily mean that they're experienced in renovating. Similarly, if you've got a bigger job, then vice versa. Somebody who's just done renovating may not have the experience that you need in order to do a full house build as such. So you need to figure out, can the builder actually do, or the tradie do the job that you want them to do? Perhaps if we just talk about a smaller job here, get them to come and have a look at it. And again, I would always say, make sure a tradesman comes and looks at the job. There's nothing like getting them on site to actually see, they can look at the job, but they can also give you their experience on how to tackle it. And that might be, you'll soon get a feeling, have they done this job before? Can they give you different ideas and different ways of achieving what it is that you actually want to achieve? So by getting them on site, by talking to them face to face, you get a much better indication of whether they actually know what they're talking about or not. And if you don't know, then get somebody to come and help you that has perhaps had experience in the past, because as somebody who's been through the building process. Now that might be a builder friend, it might be a friend who's been through having houses built or renovations done. Get them to come out and actually spend some time and meet the builder as well. And you're looking for a tradie that'll talk plain English. The building industry is absolutely full of technical jargon. But really what you want is somebody who can explain to you in plain English what it is that they're actually going to do. And then another thing you want to look at is, are they actually qualified to do the job? Now, qualification levels differ depending on what the job is that you actually want to do. Obviously, if you're going to build a full house, then you're going to need a fully qualified builder to do that. If you're doing a non-structural work and smaller jobs, and also depending on the country that you're in and the place that you are, you'll have different statutory regulations, and councils and local governments, and even state and your federal governments will all have different requirements and different levels of qualification. So just check that the builder that you're choosing, or the tradie you're choosing, is appropriately qualified for the job that you're going to engage them for. And then, are they insured? Do they have the right levels of insurance? I know here in Australia we all need public liability insurance, you need builder's insurance, we even need work cover type insurances as well. So you'll find that a lot of the fly-by-nighters, they don't have any insurance cover. So ask to see copies of their insurance covers. Just gives you a little bit more comfort that this particular tradie or builder is working legitimately and is not just some scam artist that's coming in off the street. Do they also have references? So look, Facebook is absolutely fabulous. Do they have a Facebook page, or do they have a web page which shows the jobs that they've done? And as I said, Facebook is fabulous for seeing the portfolio of their works. So if you've got a tradie who can give you, a dozen examples of the work that they've done that's the same as your job, then that's obviously going to work in their favour. And similarly, ask for customer references. Now, not just old references, but also the references of current customers that they're working with, just to get a feeling what the current customers think of them, and is this particular tradie easy to work with and get along with? And that's something that's really important as well. This job that you're going to engage them for, you're going to have to interact with them on a daily basis often. And so, can you work with this builder? And once you've sort of gone through all of that and you think you've got somebody that you can work with, you're obviously going to need to get a quote. And in fact, we've done another video just recently on quotes versus time and materials, and that should just be appearing just above us here. So perhaps just check out that video and have a bit of a look at which way to work. But once you've got your quotes, then you've got an opportunity then to choose the right builder and the one that really works well for you. And don't necessarily take the cheapest quote. Take into account everything we've sort of said in this video. Is the builder or the tradie somebody you can work with? Is he somebody you can trust? Is it somebody that other people trust as well? So you need to take all those things into account, because the cheapest quote is often not the best quote. Similarly, you don't want to get ripped off by the same token. So it's a matter of finding a tradesman that you can actually trust, and then choosing them to go ahead with the job. And the final thing I say to everybody is, if you're uncomfortable, don't sign with the builder or the tradie. Find somebody else. Even if it's hard to find somebody, if you're uncomfortable, don't go ahead. Just get somebody else you feel more comfortable with. And if it takes a little bit longer to find the right person, then that's a much better outcome than choosing the wrong person in the first place. Anyway, that'll do for this video. Same as always, if you like what you've seen and like what you've heard, then please subscribe to our channel. Like this video as well. It really does help us out if we get more subscribers. YouTube's just got this great way of, the more subscribers you have, then the more it'll play your videos and the more that it goes from there. So by you liking and subscribing, that really does help us out. Anyway, I'll leave it there, and let's see you on the next video. See ya. Hi guys, I've got 10 minutes to spare, so I thought do a quick video on how to choose the right builder or tradie. It's not that hard, but there's a couple of gotchas and a couple of things you really need to do to sort of make it effective and protect yourself. So come on, let's go and have a chat.